Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Don Murray, and I'm here with Stuart Harper. Haven't seen Stuart in a month, so not sure where he's been, and I had to get reintroduced.
Yeah. Been over to England, so
yeah.
back now.
Yeah. So in a minute here, we're going to give a very quick overview of FME Cloud. Just give you some status, a few things like that. Show you some of the new features, and then we're going to have plenty of time for questions. So what we're planning on is about 30 minutes for us to just go through just a few slides and then a nice tour of FME Cloud, give you some reference, a blog we just put out that shows a bunch of what people are doing with it, and then look at a new site that we just heard about yesterday. So thanks for joining us this morning, and we'll get started. So you're going to fire up the PowerPoint here, or the Google presentation?
Yeah, it should be good to go.
Okay, so here we go. Introduction to FME Cloud. So some of the things we're going to talk about. First, we're going to go quickly over what is FME Cloud, and we're going to talk about some of the benefits, why you would use it, and why you wouldn't use it. Stuart obviously would always use it, but anyway, then we'll go quickly through some examples, and then we'll go through a tour, and then we'll do some Q&A.
Yeah.
So so we'll just, for bandwidth here, we're just going to turn the webcam off, and then you don't have to. Also, then people don't have to look at the glare on my forehead.
Tired eyes. Yeah.
So what is FME Cloud? In the beginning, it's kind of funny. We kind of messed it up. We talked about iPaaS. Yeah, it is an integration platform as a service, and we talked about all these things, but we kind of missed the key thing we should have said right out of the gate, and now we're FME Cloud is like some people say, what's the difference between FME Server and FME Cloud? And the answer is just where it's deployed. Because FME Cloud is just a whole new way to deploy FME Server, where you as the user effectively have as much FME Server as you want without having to do anything more than click a few buttons, and you can bring them up, bring them down, scale them up, scale them down, create them, destroy them, pretty much at will. So there's lots of great uses for FME Cloud. And
FME Server is our enterprise product.
That's right.
We have desktop, server, and cloud. And,
that's right.
And you basically author workflows in desktop, and then you publish them up to FME Server. So in the past, you would have had to, find a server, convince your IT guy, and then you could have installed FME Server, and you have to keep it running as well. Right?
That's right. There's all the management, and there's system upgrades and a whole bunch of things. So if you don't know about FME, because we're not going to talk about FME other than what Stuart just gave you a quick overview, there's a picture of the authoring environment. There's a webinar today, and every week we have an overview webinar that touches on desktop, server, and cloud in a nice hour presentation. That's and it doesn't go into too much detail, so it's a great overview for folks who just want to understand how these things fit together. And there's the URL right there, fme.ly/FME overview, and you click on there, and basically away you go.
Yep. And it's free, of course, like all of our training, webinars,
right.
and all
and evaluations for desktop and server. Good. So when would you use on-site, Stuart? I know you're a big on-site guy, so I'll ask you that one first.
I would use on-site, and there is still a place for it, and it's really when all of your data resides on-site. So if you have a huge Oracle spatial database and all of your data is on-site, and you're trying to do processing on-site, or maybe even distribute the data inside your firewall, then there's no real point in going out to the cloud.
No.
Just bandwidth issues and security issues. But
FME likes to be close to the data.
It does, So that's basically the only time I would use on-premise.
So if anything is in the cloud, then really, or everything's in the cloud. So for sure, if everything's in the cloud, your data, the web services you're using, all those things, then for sure you would want to use FME Cloud.
Exactly, and we're finding more and more data sets moving to the cloud, and even services as well. If you've got to use the Gmail service and the I don't know, any other, the Salesforce connection, all of these other things are starting to move to the cloud. So if you have to interact with them, then you have to go out through your firewall and open things up anyway. So
and prototyping. What if I want to prototype a system?
I'd even prototype if my data was on premises with cloud, just because maybe you could just read in 100 features. And we can secure the server, so we can lock IPs and do clever things like that to make sure it is secure. Even with your on-premises architecture. So
I agree. I mean, I internally now we almost always use FME Cloud for everything except for the bare minimum testing on server, and certainly all the prototypes and scenarios I run through. It's all FME Cloud because it's just like you said. It's just I have a library of these things. I can pause them and kill them, bring them up. And with migration, it's also very easy. You could prototype in the cloud, use the FME server migration, pull it across on-premise, and away you can go, or vice versa. So it's it's pretty exciting.
And you don't have to persuade the IT department. You could just you could do a prototype, impress your boss. And you don't.
And there's zero risk too, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't have to go and buy a bunch of hardware. But IT is always easy to deal with. So I don't really think that as everybody.
Our IT is.
Oh, absolutely. As I travel around, I hear that IT that's really not a problem. IT is always flexible, and they always want to open holes in their firewall just so you can play around with some new software they've never heard about.
Yeah.
So.
But then there's a load of other benefits on cloud as well that we'll talk a little bit about to do with scaling and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And scaling is
etc.
Perfect. So if you have any question, then on your control panel for GoToWebinar, you'll see a questions box.
We've got one already. Apparently we made a typo.
Okay, I only see one that says okay.
Apparently we spelled maintenance wrong, but if you see any more typos, that's
we spelled maintenance wrong. Okay, well, there you go.
But feel free to ask any questions, and they don't have to be. They could be around data as well. I have data in the cloud, or I have data on premise. What fits with server? What fits with cloud?
Salesforce, Dropbox, ArcGIS Online, all these things are web services that we've worked with FME Cloud, so we can talk to you about that. Salesforce for sure, and we'll talk about, anyway, the answer to all those is yes, and so we'll just continue on right now, but the blog has actual examples too. Okay, so FME server as a service. The nice thing is you can just click a button, spin up an FME server, even if you just want to play around with it and see what it is. You don't have to really talk to anybody. We give you $250 of credit, and that's enough. And
we'll, a month.
A month turning it on and off. So that's good right there. And the nice thing too is if I build a service, like let's say I'm building a solutions, Stuart, how do I know how big? So historically, I'd have to go and I'd have to estimate, and I go buy all this hardware.
Well, you're going to go too big or too small historically. Buy too much.
And we're all, that's right. And we're always optimistic when we're building. Nobody builds a service because they think nobody's going to use it.
Or you might hit the jackpot on that one.
That's right. And now you're scrambling because it's not just your hardware; it's your bandwidth too.
So scaling's easy. We'll show you that. You can change the size of an instance. It takes about 2 minutes to change the size. And that's going from 1 core up to, I think, is it 16 cores or something? The biggest machine, maybe even bigger.
Well, they're getting bigger all the time. That's the thing.
True.
Now, let's talk about something slightly different in scaling. So let's say I have a professional machine today, and then I fire up another one tomorrow. Is there a chance that it could just be bigger just because of what's going on underneath?
Yeah, so I mean, Amazon are always updating their hardware and also lowering costs as well. So we can leverage that very, very easily. It takes us about an hour to basically migrate to a larger instance to run all our tests. So you get basically the instant benefit of this optimization of the architecture that Amazon give to us.
That's right. And I know that for example, the machines that we're running now, even the starter version, you pick any version that's much faster than when we launched, because now they're all SSD backed. And at the beginning they weren't. So
if we're not lowering prices, exactly. Last month we just switched out SSD, normal EBS disk for an SSD disk. So
that's huge.
Huge performance gain there, and you didn't have to do anything.
So very exciting.
But yeah, then the other one is, of course, it's
Yeah.
fully managed as well. So
That's right.
you don't want to have to be worried about backups and security updates. You would have had to we spent about 2 days last week patching, well, I didn't, poor Claude did, but patching instances, reading about this shell shock, bash vulnerability. You know, we talk to people. You know, that's not something you want to be doing, trust me.
Yeah.
But we can do it. We can do it for everyone. It's more optimized. We monitor everything for you. We do backups. You can even force snapshots. All that side of things is handled. So all you have to do is worry about your workspace, your workflows, and that's really what we want you to be worried about. Yeah. Because that's where the value is.
Yeah. And when I launch a machine, I can decide about those security updates too. I can decide. If I want them, I could say, no, I don't want them. I'm just going to go, I'm a cowboy. Or we could have them just notify me that they're available, and then I manually reboot.
Yeah. So
we can have complete, fully automatic, depending.
So that's nice for you. And you know, security is. I heard an interesting quote about security in the cloud actually last week, which I'll just share. Yeah. So when you're traditionally building systems on premises, it's all about that firewall, right? That firewall is everything. But if someone gets through the firewall, like they did with Target in America a few months ago, you're in a world of pain because as soon as they're through that firewall,
you have access to everything.
You have access to everything. Whereas with the cloud, every time we're doing anything, we're thinking about security in all aspects of the architecture. So that means actually that these systems that are coming out in the cloud are a lot more secure than these old systems that was just the firewall, and then if you know that's our barrier. But if someone gets through that, then we're in pain. So here we've got security everywhere. We've got encrypted disks. We've got you know, rotating keys. We've got loads of stuff going on.
Everything's HTTPS. Everything's
exactly. We're just thinking security the whole time. So that's an interesting.
And that's us. And of course, Amazon, who's managing the whole thing, they're also secure. They're also figuring out how can they make their entire infrastructure stack more secure for everybody. So you know, so if there is somebody out there who's basically pinging all over their servers looking for a vulnerable machine, you know, I'm betting that they're going to detect that themselves and shut them off even before it makes it into our virtual machine. So
and I'm guessing our server room is probably not as secure as Amazon's server.
I would bet that Amazon understands security probably pretty much as, you know, maybe you know, there's a few other companies in the world that understand, you know. But absolutely. And of course, we've really worked hard to give it to be very inexpensive. So we have defined a very understandable cost model, which we'll show in a few minutes. So that you understand exactly how much is this thing going to cost, because the last thing you want is a sort of a cell phone surprise in a month. And also you can scale up or down just with you know, with a few clicks of a button. So this is the pricing Stuart's showing now. So you can see, well, starters you know, 90 cents an hour.
90 cents an hour. So that's, you know, very affordable. Plus you've got your free credit as well. So like 300 hours.
And this is data transfer out.
Only out,
So any amount of data you want in is, you know, if you move 2 terabytes in a month, or no, out a month, that would be $260. So pretty darn cheap.
And in is free.
That's a lot. And in is free. And data storage is so as Amazon lowers its data transfer and data storage costs, what do we do with that?
It's just a multiplier for these two.
So it's a 5%,
10% markup, I think. So.
And as we understand these, we're always working to make our pricing model even more predictable. So you're showing the starter version there for hourly. And so if I know I'm going to use it for a year.
If you know you're going to use it for a year, then that's a slightly different model. Why not switch from the pay-as-you-go, like your phone pay-as-you-go, to an annual fee?
And you can see you save it just to, you know, probably what?
It's about 40%. You save, and that's a one-time upfront fee you pay to us, and then you get the server all year basically for free. I think it's a good model because the flexibility is there. Maybe you run your prototype on the hourly. You show your boss, you get something going, you spend $20. And then once you can then very, very easily create a budget around a server running all the time.
So if I start and stop my server, my starter every day, it would be like $7.20 a day.
Exactly. Just work hours, and that's an interesting point. So you can set your server up, get it exactly how you want it, humming along nicely. Then you can pause it. And that's like shutting your laptop lid.
So I'm not using any...
You're not using your 90 cents an hour then, because it's not running. You only pay when it's running.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have a lot of customers...
So to be clear, it's when the server's running. It doesn't matter if the server's running jobs. It's when the server's running.
Yes.
So, okay. So if I know my server's not running jobs, I would be wise if I'm on an hourly to pause it.
Exactly, yeah.
If I know I'm using it a lot, then and I go annual, then it doesn't make any difference.
Exactly, yeah. And we do, the cool thing is, to start and stop instances, yes, you can use the dashboard, which we'll show you in a minute, but you can also use the API, which a lot of people are doing, and we've even created transformers for you in Workbench.
And that's what I've done. You know what I do? I have a scheduled job that runs at, say, 6:30 p.m., and what it does is it just pauses the instance it's running on.
Right, nice.
I have another workspace that unpauses it, but I've never been able to figure out how to get it to run.
Okay. Well, it does work. It does work.
I'd have to run it on a different server. No, it's the joke, right? Because it's on the machine that's paused. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that was a bad joke. Okay. So so that's the pricing. So so you're going to show us how to. So we're on the tour here right now, I think.
Yeah. Let's just go back to the slide. Just so
sure. Make sure we didn't miss. Oh yes. So So what we did is we published a blog yesterday. And if you go to this blog, you'll see here's 6 examples of how people are using FME Cloud. And so you can go through there. We won't go through those today, but there's data distribution, there's quality projects, there's mobile. There's, one was a project that they had, was a temporary project. They had like 6 months to get a massive amount of work done.
Yeah.
And so that's perfect for FME Cloud too. You can spin up a massive machine, use it for a few months, meet the criteria of your new thing, and then throw it away.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then also, we use FME Cloud internally for more and more things. For of course, we use it in the World Tour, but we're also using it to tie our internal systems together, move data from Salesforce into other systems. Whenever we collect stats on FME, now that goes through FME Cloud. So so we're pretty excited about it.
And then there's actually this one of our partners.
That's this one we found out yesterday. Yeah. That's right, Conterra has built an OSM feature fetcher service that you can find on the ArcGIS Marketplace, and underneath it's using FME Cloud to basically return the data. So again, the idea of FME Cloud is in many of those things you'll see the end user doesn't even know FME Cloud is there.
Exactly,
it's
just embedded in other applications or services.
So it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll find out all about that there. And so now we're going to do our...
do a little tour around and show them around. For those that haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you sign up for FME Cloud? It's not like the traditional products. In the desktop and server, you have to download and install them. All you need to do is go to safe.com, our nice looking new website. You can click on Cloud here, and then on the bottom here, there's an FME Cloud login button.
So do we? Okay. Now, so just click on that, and
so I'm logged in. So let me just log out.
Okay. Now, what about different authentication? So it looks like you can sign in with Google.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to be honest, I don't like these things, and here's why. Every once in a while you get somebody phishing, and they can be successful when people aren't paying attention. So I use this thing called two-step authentication, and I am a huge fan of that. Does FME Cloud support anything like that?
Yeah, we have two-step authentication as well. So
do I have to use it? Because some people hate it.
If you work at Safe, you have to use it. But that's just us and our policy. But it's there to turn on if you're an admin.
Okay.
So we'll show that in a minute. But I have two-step enabled on Google as well.
Yeah.
But this is how you sign up here. Let's just go to sign up. It's a simple form that you fill out.
Yeah.
It takes a couple of minutes to fill this out.
Yeah.
And once you've filled it out, you get a login, and then you can either sign in with Google or enter username and password.
Yeah.
And once you're there, you come into this interface. So you do before this point have to enter a credit card, and maybe we can touch on that first. We give you the $250 worth of free credit, but we do at this point make you enter a credit card before you can use.
So right now it's Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah.
Okay. Any plans to for other ones like say American Express?
There's plans for Amex. Yeah. We're just working with finance on getting that going.
Okay. So that's a question that's come up a couple times. So the answer to the are you will we support American Express? The answer is that's in progress.
Yeah, that's in progress. We have to sign a lot of other forms.
Oh, yeah. Now, to be clear, are we storing any of these credit cards?
No, so we're using a service as well that's PCI compliant.
Okay.
All of the information none of it's stored in our database. It's all stored in this service. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, so in case people are wondering about that. So would you guess American Express, would that be in a month, would you say?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And thanks for those questions, Irina. So that's great. So I didn't even know that, so this is great.
Okay, so we're in. We've logged in. We've signed up.
Okay, and so how do I launch an instance here?
So this we've already got one going, so you won't have anything in there when you come in. So all you need to do is click Launch Instance.
Yeah.
And here's a fun bit. Takes a couple of minutes. You can fill it out. So maybe this
just call it Fun Time.
Fun Time. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good. Okay.
And then we'll call this Fun Time.
Sure.
So this is the URL that the server's going to be hosted on.
Yeah.
Click Next.
And that safe test is this account you're using?
Yeah.
So if you had your own account, that would be your URL, would be your account.
That would be your company name. Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about Teams a little bit later. But okay. So now you pick the. Oh, look at that! They got that up. That's nice. The Service Pack 4 beta. I was waiting for that one.
So yeah, you can see this only came. When did this come out?
Probably yesterday.
Exactly. So another great thing about the cloud is if you want to prototype anything on a new build, we get them up here almost as fast as the actual.
So you click that drop down. Anything up there? So there's even if I click 2015, there's a 2015 beta as well. So that's great.
Yeah. So maybe more for us, but certainly it is good to get the latest features. So what should we go for? Let's go
for Service Pack 4.
Okay.
Just because it's fresh.
So what's this then?
Okay, now you get to pick the size of the machine. We're FME Server. We won't talk too much about FME Server, but we charge per instance. No, we charge per number of engines. But here we just charge, since we know the machine, we just charge by machine size. So you can pick the different machine. Obviously, the bigger the machine is going to cost. And so let's say Stuart goes for the Enterprise. Okay, now we can just crank up the number of engines. So 6. Oh, that's the stuff of dreams. Yeah. And that's one. Now this is one seriously fast machine.
This is
like
a great big.
This is a screamer, and then you can increase the storage. I usually go for 100 gig.
Yeah.
Whatever, and then and this is important too. The OS security. The OS security updates, uninstalled, so that'll just, so what does that do? Oh no, what does unattended do?
Unattended is basically, it will just install at will. It will always patch. As soon as a patch becomes available on Linux, it's going to patch that for you.
Okay. Now there is a very small chance that could cause things to not work.
Very, very small chance, We don't run, it depends on what you're doing on that machine. So if it is a mission critical production system, then you might want to do install and shutdown. We have temporarily removed no patches at all in the wake of shell shock. We're just doing a review of what that could mean, and we'll wait. Sure. Basically, they're not sure if the patches are patching the actual problem.
Right.
So we just don't want to make. Anyway.
I gotcha.
So that's the kind of thing we're looking after you and watching you back on. But we can do it unattended here.
Sure. And then you just click Next. And then you would click Launch, and then you
can review it here. Click Launch,
and then you'd basically see that it's provision. And about 10 minutes later, we say about because of course we're dependent on Amazon when they find the machine and all these things and how long that takes. But it's about 10 minutes, and of course we're always working to make this quicker and quicker. But
still pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, new FME server in 10 minutes. Yeah. Compare that with before. So what about? So let's say I'm an organization and I'm Billy Bob and I'm in charge of everything and I have a whole team and I don't want my whole team to have different accounts because it's an accounting nightmare.
Sure.
So what do I do there?
So we actually have this. We use this at Safe as well. So if I go into settings, this is kind of this is the admin area, and you can see on the left here we have various things, but one of them is team management.
Okay.
I will actually just quickly show you. This is where you turn on two-step authentication as well.
Excellent.
So all you need to do is see we've got it already switched on here.
Yeah.
You can just enable it or disable it. So
right. And then you would use you could use the Google Authenticator app if you wanted. That's what I use. Yeah. Perfect.
So, but let's go to team management.
And
you can see this is just me at the moment.
Right.
But I can add
you could add me as you could add a member.
Yeah.
So you can
I can add Don Murray here as a member of the Safe
and you can use my personal account, don.dcm.murray. Don.dcm.murray@gmail.com. And look at that. And then you could say, now what are the roles? Because I don't really want to be administrator, because as you know, I'm kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
So you could say I'm a member.
Two at the moment. Admin is basically, they can come in here and do all the team management, do admin tasks like turn on two-step authentication, for example.
Yeah.
But member is just, all they can really do is go in the dashboard and launch instances. They can't do any of the team management. They can't see any of the billing. They can't.
Can they shut down instances?
Yes, they can. So at the moment, this screen shows you the different roles.
Okay.
And what we plan to do eventually is you'll actually be able to do more granular permissions within each of these. But at the moment, we just have these three roles to get you going.
Yeah. And then and then at the end of the month, or all the members are rolled up into one bill.
Exactly.
To Billy Bob.
Yeah. One bill. Yeah, goes to Safe Software.
I like that. Billy Bob gets the bill.
Billy Bob. BBB. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So all I have to do is add a member, and it will send on an email.
And then basically
invitation pending.
Yeah. And I would just accept that, and away I'd go. So okay, good.
So that's kind of now while I'm in here, I'll just show you one more thing. It's to do with billing. So we're gonna. You need to know, how much things are costing. I think that's fair to say. You want to have a good grasp on how much things are costing. Well, you can look at the billing shows you kind of the previous, so the past invoices shows you the previous invoices. That's all very well and good, but you can actually look at your current monthly usage, and it's accurate to within 1 hour. So you can come in here and you can see that I've been running this one since last night, so 17 hours.
Right.
So I can basically come in here and view my real-time costs for this month. So that's quite a useful thing if you are worried about how much you've spent. And you can see here I have some credit, so it's even showing me how much credit I've used up and what my actual cost is here, which is $0.
Okay.
So that's a thing worth.
And again, you'd see that for the entire team.
Only the admin will see this.
Okay.
If you're just a member, all the member can really see is just the dashboard side of things.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. So what's this monitoring stuff you see?
Yes. So here's what I did earlier. Open Data Server. I launched this one last night while we're waiting for the other one to come up. And so the first thing is I can click. Excuse me. I can click on this link here, and this opens up my cloud instance. This is what you're paying for. This is it. This is FME Server running in the cloud.
Yeah.
And so this is it. We can log in through the web interface.
Yeah.
Or we can also interact with it via an API.
Yeah. And you can see it's all HTTPS. We don't even launch any instances that aren't HTTPS.
Yes. No, it's...
The Internet's only becoming less friendly.
Yeah. Google actually give you a little boost in the rankings now if your site is HTTPS as well. It used to be the other way around.
So even your normal website?
Even like just, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Yeah, so that's good. So if you go back to team now, you'll see that I did accept, so...
Okay, let's have a look then. So Don should be in the team management.
Yeah, look at that.
He's a member now.
Yeah.
There he goes. But I could bump him up to another role as well if I wanted to as well.
Sure. So what's the difference in owner and admin? So
owner can change the billing.
I see.
So now Don's the owner. He can actually go and change the credit card on file and things like that.
Okay, whereas admin can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm...
Perfect.
Hopefully that didn't ruin any of my demo, changing it to owner, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so good.
So Open Data Server's running. I can log into the server. I can download the credentials for the server here.
And you can do that exactly once.
Exactly once, and that's what this big red warning comes with.
Yeah.
We don't know your login.
Yeah.
These are stored encrypted at the moment, and when you click download, they're deleted off our servers.
Yeah.
And we no longer know how you can, we don't know the username and password for this server.
Yeah, and you can see they're
big, long
things that nobody are going to guess.
Yeah. But I should then be able to log in here. It's always super user. We recommend you actually change this once you've logged in. But you see now, this is the FME server. We're not going to go into what FME Server does in this webinar, but if you want to know about FME Server, there's training, there's a whole bunch of other things.
The only thing you can change the number of engines here, which is something I'm excited about. So that'll be the extent of and that's basically the number of parallel jobs that can be run.
Yeah.
The guideline kind of, if you're doing a lot of CPU intensive stuff, 1 engine per core. But if you're doing a lot of web calls and you're spending a lot of time waiting on web services, then you can crank that up beyond 1 engine per core.
A lot more, actually.
Yeah.
Up to 4 times the number of CPUs, if that makes sense.
That's right. That's right. So good. Awesome.
So that's FME server, and really that's what this is all about. But we're showing you from the cloud side.
So now the enterprise one, the fun time.
Oh, there we go. Fun time's running.
Yeah.
So that was.
Did you go over monitoring yet?
10 minutes. No. So let's have a look at Open Data Server.
Yeah.
And click on monitoring. So these are kind of real-time statistics on the current state of your server. Just have a look. And let's have a look. So monitoring. Just loading up here.
Yeah.
So this is things like, disk usage, memory usage, and this is good if something does go wrong on the server. You can come in here and you can see, am I pinning the memory?
Yeah.
Have I had a spike in server mode, in load? Is there a huge spike in network throughput?
You can also look at your disk. Like if you run, because we give you a virtual machine, if you run your machine out of disk storage, like any machine, bad things are going to happen. And that's not a problem with FME Cloud. That's actually, you need to either increase your disk size or move to a bigger machine. So this is really helping you to identify when your machine needs to be moved up or down. Because it could be that you have a bigger machine and you see, jeepers creepers, my CPU never gets busy, my memory usage is always small. I could actually save money by scaling down. So how would I scale?
Well, let's fun time. We've gone a bit over the top.
We did.
Enterprise. So what we'll do is we'll downgrade it to a starter.
Because you can see I have 26 gig of physical memory.
It's So all I need to do is click on fun time or whatever instance you've got,
and then
resize the instance. So you can also change the storage size. If you've got too much disk space or not enough, that's how you do that. But let's resize the instance. And this is it. I mean, you just change from enterprise to starter.
And then click a button.
And the hardware gets switched out underneath.
Yeah.
But your data.
And how about the URLs?
It's all the same.
And all the accounts and everything
exactly
in there?
the same.
It's just smaller. Wow, that's great.
So that's a very easy thing to do.
Good.
While we're in there looking at other actions you can do, you can force a backup, which is pretty obvious. We do backup the instance once a day.
Yeah.
But if you spend all day building up your dream instance, then it might be worth you just forcing a backup, and that was our thought.
And if I wanted to save that?
Yeah, so let's take a look at the backups.
Yeah.
So imagine you've got your dream instance.
Yeah.
Let's say it's this one here.
Yeah.
What you can actually do is, at the moment, if you terminate this instance, you lose all your backups.
Yeah.
So that's not great. You might have your dream machine, but you might not want it for 6 months or something.
That's right.
So all you need to do is create a snapshot.
Okay. And then and then you give it a name or.
So this is basically a backup.
Yeah.
That's not attached to the instance anymore.
Yeah.
So this Open Data Server create, and that's it. You've now got this snapshot created, which is a copy, an image of your machine.
Yeah.
And if I go in snapshots, you see here Open Data Server.
Yeah.
Who it's created by? Because if Don did this, then
that's right.
Don would say.
Was that fast?
Yeah, I mean, it was instant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Okay.
But then you could terminate that old machine at any other point. You could relaunch it.
Right from the snap.
But you're not paying a cent for this. We give you 5 for free.
Oh, okay. 5 for free. Wow. Okay, that's not part of your data storage.
No.
That's great.
So you can have up to 5, and you could terminate all your instances, not pay anything, and then
your monthly cost would be zero. And then that's a great way. And again, a great way to save money.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So I think that's probably good.
It's probably good. One more thing I should show about security.
Sure.
So what you can actually do is you need to open ports up into the server sometimes to get email out, or to open a WebSocket connection,
or even see the HTTP.
Exactly, yeah. Or if you want to do a connection to PostGIS or something, or RDS, you have to open ports. But what we do is we let you. Not only can you define a port range, so let's say we're doing Postgres on 5432.
Yeah.
But you can also you can lock it down to an IP.
So we could make it so that only machines from safe software can access this machine.
Over that
Or
port,
if I had number of offices, if I had 4 offices, I could make it so only those 4 offices would be able to see this machine.
Exactly, yeah. And you could add as many rules as you want. So you could add, I don't know, safe's IP, but click add and
that's right.
You can take them away at any point as well. Again, this is instant.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice.
That's very nice. Yeah. Good.
Okay, so 8:34.
Let's go back to our slides. I think we're pretty much done, actually.
Yeah, that's everything's pretty much done. I think. But the annual subscription is on any instance you can buy a subscription, and that's how you go on about buying the annual subscription.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
So the big thing that I want to be 100% clear on. If I have a backup and I make it a snapshot, then I delete all my other backups. I throw those machines away. My monthly cost is 0.
Correct.
Okay.
And let me show you just quickly actually how we go about pausing an instance.
Right.
We haven't shown that.
Right.
So this guy's running. Whenever it's green and running, you are paying. That's the rule.
Yeah.
If you want to pause it,
you
just go in here and action pause.
Okay, do that. Pause. Okay.
Are you sure want to pause? Yes.
Yeah, and that takes a couple minutes probably.
Yeah, it's just like powering your laptop up.
Yeah.
So that instance now is not running. You can't access the URL anymore.
No.
Open data server is gone.
Yeah.
But
it's
still the data's still persisting.
Yeah, that's right.
It's still on the disk.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good. Excellent.
Okay.
That's awesome. So where are we on our deck here? Is that where we? Okay. So again, if you want to get started with FME Cloud. Go to FME Cloud. Everybody gets $250 free, so for a new account.
Yeah.
And so try that. We've told you a number of ways you can really drive your monthly cost down and make that $250. You're only paying for when it's running. You can create a backup, or a snapshot, and then away you go. So that's good stuff. And again, there's a webinar today. So if you click that link there or type that link in your browser, you will be able to sign up for today's weekly webinar, and so it happens in about an hour and a half from now, and you'll find that will really is a great way to understand the whole FME stack from desktop to server to cloud.
Exactly. Yeah. See how it all ties together.
Yeah.
Okay, so
let's look. Now we're into Q&A. So let's look at some of these questions. We had a number of questions on the type of credit card. So thanks, Irina and others for that. So authentication methods, we talked about that. We support 2-step authentication. And now what about something like OAuth?
Well, we do use OAuth, but
at this point, no. So, but that again,
token-based security.
Yeah, token-based. Yeah. So let's see. Somebody wants to try it on LiDAR. So again, go ahead there. Getting the data up is free. So if you you can easily move the data up to free. Can you increase the size of the disk?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a click away. You can it's a slider again. Let me show you here.
Okay.
Oh, my instance is paused now.
That's okay. But it was a big slider, and even on the side there was an action that was resize disk.
Yeah, it's just here.
So you can do that. That's easy. And somebody asked about will FME Cloud be available on Windows? We have noticed a few different differences in workspaces. The answer to that, there's a few key formats that are not on our Linux. So our FME Cloud is Linux. At this point, there's no plans to make it Windows, but I mean that's just at the current time. Now, what we're doing with FME though is we're making FME be able to support these key formats. PDF is a big one.
Yeah.
And SQL Server is a big one.
It's a big one. Yeah.
And so if there's any other formats that you would like us to support in FME Cloud, let us know. We do support ArcGIS Online, as you've seen. Christian has a great example of how you can integrate those two in that one. So let us know what you would like to do there. I presume you're always paying for storage though, even when server is not running. That is true if you're using backups, but as we said, if you take one of those backups and you make it a snapshot, the first 5 snapshots are free.
Yes.
So now, is there APIs to create snapshots?
There isn't yet.
Not yet. Okay, there will be.
We can add that in.
Yeah, there is. One thing we're also doing, we didn't touch on that, of course, is there's a very rich API with FME Cloud, and we're adding more and more of the functionality. So that I could see that could be a good one. You know, back up the cloud, back up your instance, and then copy it over to a snapshot. Why can't I say that word?
Snapshot.
Snapshot, and away you go. So that's one way, and we're constantly looking at how we can make the lower cost for you guys. 2, will you get an error if you try to upload a workspace with a, for instance? The answer is it would. You're right. Somebody asked, Herstad asked, will you get an error if you try to upload a workspace with, for instance, PDF Writer, which is unsupported? The answer to that at this point is no. You would get the error when you actually tried to run that workspace. And you're right. That would be a nice improvement to the publish on FME Server.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge is that even in FME Server installations, we often have different engines with different capabilities. But anyway, that would be an improvement as well. So we're going to write that one down. That's a great one. Can I use workspaces that have custom transformers? The answer is yes, absolutely. You can, and that's an FME Server question. And imported Python scripts.
There is a way to do it. Speak to me. It's a little bit of a hack. We'd love to get it so you can just do install. But
that's right. And there is a shared resources. There's resources in FME Server, and we're looking at using those for everything third party.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we add JDBC support, we're going to need a way to install JDBC drivers and things. So we need a place to drop them. And so the plan is to make everything in there in resources. And so that's where we're going with that. So I sometimes need a batch load 500 more drawings to a database, and I need to find a way to make this much faster. How could I use FME Cloud for this? Well, the database, you could have depending on what the database is, you could have the database in the cloud, and you could run these massive jobs, like 500. You could spin up a big server, run them very quickly, and if the database is in the cloud, that's an easy solution.
Mm-hmm.
If the database isn't in the cloud, then not such an easy solution, because you probably don't even have a hole in your IT to your database. But you could load a database and then dump it, get a dump file and move it across or something. It would be great to follow up with you on that later. And that's from Mr. Grisset. He always asks those hard questions. Yeah.
Any performance hit because of all that security? No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the disk is encrypted, and we did do some tests, but from what we can't.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the security that Stuart showed, where you can nail down, specify which hosts can access the machine, we're just leveraging an Amazon service there.
Mm-hmm.
And so those requests, we wouldn't even get anywhere near our machine, so our machine wouldn't even be bouncing those off. It would be the Amazon stack way before it gets to our machine that would just, they would look at where the request's coming from and say, oh, no, sorry. So, but yeah. Can you resize the disk? Absolutely, up or down. Okay. And I think
I'll talk a little bit about RDS as well, actually.
Absolutely, go ahead.
So FME Cloud runs on Amazon Web Services, which you may or may not have heard of. It's not really, you don't really need to know about that, but some of the clients who are kind of coming to us with complete blue sky, clean slate, what's my dream architecture? One of the dream architecture really is to use the database hosted by Amazon. It's called RDS, Relational Database Service.
Yeah.
They have Oracle, SQL Server, Postgres, and PostGIS as well.
Yeah.
And this is it's just a database as a service, but it's extremely fast. It's very cost effective, and if you get it in the same region as the
instance, it's so fast. Like we use it internally here, and the nice thing is you can scale that independently of your cloud, which gets all the, as Stuart showed, when you fire up an FME Cloud instance, you do get your own PostGIS to work with, but moving it to RDS gives you a lot of benefit. You can scale that up and down. Amazon makes sure it's always running, it's fault tolerant. If you want it faster, you just move a little slider. And of course, then when you shut down your instance, your data is in RDS, which is because of course when we're backing up FME server, we're not backing up all the databases, and so using RDS is a great way to make your instances much faster, your jobs.
Well, we love to talk about that.
Absolutely. So really we should make that clear to people.
If you want to discuss anything about architecture and things with us, we know about DynamoDB, we know about all of these Amazon services inside out because we've lived here for 3 years now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, good. Anything else you see there? Most of them are answered.
Can the instance be activated automatically, for example, 8 a.m. and paused at 4 p.m.? So
yes, but you can. Yeah, the 8 a.m. you would have to have, because there's a REST API. You would have to have a REST. You would have to have something that could run at 8 a.m. to unpause the instance. So obviously, you couldn't run it on the server that's paused because it's paused. Now we have talked about it in the FME Cloud too, having a very simple schedule in the admin panel, and that is on the roadmap. At this point, we haven't started that work, but because we spent time doing more critical things like security and all of these things. But Stuart's just going to show you. He's showing you on the screen all the different.
These are all the FME Cloud transformers in Workbench.
Yeah.
They use the API.
Yeah.
They're just a custom transformer. They're in the store though.
Yeah.
So the instance lister, the pauser, restarter, terminate. So this is how you pause an instance from Workbench. So if you can find some way to run this workspace on your local machine every day, you can get scheduler apps. Then you just put your token in here, the ID of the instance, and then run this every day, and it will pause it and start it again.
That's right. So you can do it using FME. Yeah. Great question. Okay, scroll to the bottom here. Would it be easy to take XY from Autodesk and batch process to? Absolutely, that's easy, very simple. To delete after a while, all data for sure. Yes, you can definitely, deleting data is not a problem. So I think you mean you want to delete your entire instance, is that how you read that?
I read that, yeah. And I mean, if you terminate an instance, you're throwing it off a cliff, it's gone. It's Amazon have documents on how they terminate and deal with data as well, and how they dispose of the machines and such.
Yeah. So there's a question here about writing to ArcSDE. You could again, you would have to ArcSDE. We don't install ArcSDE in the cloud. So if you had it in the cloud, or if you had it on your corporate site, you could open a hole in the firewall. But if you're using ArcSDE on premise, then as we talked about earlier, FME likes to be close to the data. So
I think there are some issues around licensing there as well, because you need to install Arc objects and a few things.
Right.
But it works for things like shape and file geodatabase. I don't think you can do it for.
So anyway.
But the thing is, if you want to run an SDE, Arc SDE driven workspace on FME server in the cloud, there is another option. We haven't really talked about that. You can purchase FME server and then just run it on your own cloud instance. We let you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then of course you're taking stands up to all the maintenance backups and all that. Yeah. So we do have users that do that as well. So and then you can run in Windows. I guess that's the way you could run.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. Good. So let's see. I think we're running low on questions here.
I've got a few questions. Is FME Desktop included?
No, FME Desktop is it goes back to FME Cloud is FME Server, and when you buy FME Server, you do not get FME Desktop, so you would still need to purchase the authoring environment.
Right.
And again, like all our tools, if you're just getting new to FME, we're very generous with the evaluations or proof of concept pilots and that sort of thing to get you started. And so anything else there?
Another question actually would be, where are these instances running? I mean, because I know for people in Europe, are they in Europe or are they in America? Or?
Yeah, we get that question. We get that question a lot. Right now, they're running in the United States. They're running in the East Coast. There is plans to not only add regions, but be able to change FME Cloud so that we have many different locations. Amazon has, let's say Amazon has 10 different. Ish. And but then there's just so many other different cloud things that we're looking at strategies for that. That is longer term. That is not. But I would expect you should expect you would see other Amazon regions sooner than any of that stuff. So there is one in Europe. There's one in Ireland, and then there's
there's rumors about them popping up everywhere as well. But it's an interesting one as well. What's your experience on bandwidth limitations? Is it feasible to run a workspace that needs to read 5 million records, process them on the server, and then write back a subset of features to a target DB off the cloud?
I would say no. I mean you could. The bandwidth may not be the issue, but it depends how much data you're moving down. Remember, data going to the cloud is free, but data coming from the cloud back down to your database, there would be a cost there. So you would really need to understand how much data you're moving from the cloud back to your corporate. That may in fact be the biggest cost. And I know in the early days when I was playing with AWS, I was sort of partly in the cloud, so I was constantly moving big amounts of data up and then big amounts of data down, and I really learned that it's the data coming down that is the cost. It's not huge, but if you're moving terabytes of data up and down, you're gonna be paying for that. So again, if both data points are on your corporate, then really FME server likes to be there. It will still work, but
you can do fancy things like prefetches on bounding box on the data and things like that. So I mean, reading 5 million records into FME is never really. No. I mean, sometimes you have to do it, but there's other ways around it. But
So it's a data you'd have to understand, to really decide.
It's often when I was in England, the bandwidth they're dealing with in some offices there. I mean,
it's the office bandwidth.
The office bandwidth. Amazon's bandwidth is like huge. But it's almost the slowest part of the network. So they haven't really caught up over there yet. So
So good. Okay. PostGIS is also installed on the instance. Absolutely. When you fire up, and if Stuart could show that credential file, hopefully he still has it. Yes, you'll see that every instance has a PostGIS database with it. So you can, and that again is fantastic for prototyping or just building, things there. We want to give FME Cloud with a database so that people could just go. And then, of course, the nice thing is you can actually you can use that PostGIS database even when you're writing on desktop, and that's what I often do, is I will use FME on the desktop, specify the URL name, and then when I publish that workspace to the cloud, it still runs, but of course it's faster because now it's internal. So yeah. So that's yes. Is it right to use an evaluation FME workbench to author in the cloud? Absolutely. If you're if you're just evaluating the whole FME stack and you're not sure, then maybe it's a proof of concept, a pilot, learning, whatever. Absolutely, we have no problem with folks using an evaluation FME workbench for the cloud. And then once you've decided that this solves your problem, and you go to production, then of course you would need to purchase that FME desktop. But if you just want to play around, then you'll find we're very easy to work with on that one. So good.
What about if maybe just touch on this because people ask it a lot. I don't have a credit card.
Right. Yes. And many organizations. I mean, personally, we have a credit card, but you probably don't want to do that. So you can also buy credits. So basically, you wouldn't buy hourly credits. Well, you could use it hourly, but basically, the minimum is somewhere around $5,000. So you give us $5,000-ish.
Exactly.
And then we just credit that on your account, and you still get a monthly bill, and you would see that being so you can Stuart shows one there. So.
These are credit, but you have to contact us basically.
That's right.
You can buy credits via purchase order.
That's right. So that makes sense for you too, and So again, we encourage you to give it a try. Lean on us too if you have any questions, because we're here to help. And so could you install ArcSDE in your cloud on top of Postgres database? The answer is no. One thing with FME Cloud is we don't give you full run of the machine because, again, remember, we're signing up to manage it, and so it's Postgres is there. And we're not letting folks get access to the raw machine so they can, add their own custom components, because of course that would just brings the reliability of the machine down. Something goes wrong, and then we're left trying to figure it out. So
the two interfaces are web browser, REST API,
FME Workbench, and the Postgres database. Really, those are the entry points.
There's no SSHing allowed.
No. So because it is an FME server as a service, so it's really that's what we're nailing it down to. So good, excellent. So give it a try. You'll get $250. And if you have any questions, really lean on us. At SAFE, we talk about the restaurant model. We think that to be a really great software company, we have to build good software, but also great service. So it's like a restaurant. If they have good food but crummy service, you're probably not going back. And if they have great service but crummy food, you just sort of feel sorry for the people working there, but you're still not coming back. So So good. So I think that's great.
So let me just. So these are our support email, support@safe.com if you have any questions about anything really. Anything
FME, like you want a demo, you want to talk about a project, you think of questions later. Either of those are fantastic. And thanks for joining us today. We'll leave the thing running for the webinar running for a few minutes, so if you think of any questions, and then if you don't think of any questions till later, give us a call, or if you just want to talk about it because you're not sure, give us a call too. Just send us an email and we'll get back to you. And well, thanks, Stuart. It's good to have you back. I missed you.
See you.
I mean, it seemed sometimes I was walking up and down the hall with my head down. Oh, Stuart. So so it's been great, and it's always fun. And
we are still in beta, aren't we?
We are. There's a number of things we want to do. Obviously now the whole thing's much more secure. We've added the security updates, automatic rolling. There's another thing we want to do is when your machine is, how you can monitor and see when your machine maybe is hitting red lines. We want to email you that so you don't have to actually go to the panel. So then you would get notifications when your machine's running low on memory, when the disk space is nearing full, so you can take it. Because really, if you run your machine at a disk space and it goes down, it's not really, like we can run around and panic and everything, but really, you should be the one to know that when your instance size is getting under, or your CPU's always pinned, all these different things. So that's where we want to get to. And then our FME Cloud support will come down. Also, 24/7 support in FME Cloud is important. So we're looking at bringing another person on in Europe and then a person in India, and those two locations with ours here gives nice 24/7 support during the weekdays without anybody having to be called at 2 in the morning, because we don't want to have anybody be called at 2 in the morning. And then there's just weekends, which we can figure out, But we can't ever say that if you run your machine into the ground, that will be the answer might be, you need to retake that last snapshot or back up and move it to a bigger machine,
or resize.
Or resize, exactly. So anyway. Anything else, Eric?
No, I think that's good. I look forward to hearing from everyone.
Yeah, we're very excited. Do take a look at that blog if you're wanting to know what people are doing with it, and you'll also see that if that nice service that Conterra built on top of FME Cloud. So we're pretty excited about that too. We're seeing a lot of people building services on top of FME Cloud where the clients themselves don't even see FME Cloud. And that's really the point, right? Like we talked about, are we going to build our own service on top of FME Server? And then, over time we realized there's just so many that could be built. Why don't we just build a really nice platform and really make this a killer platform so it's easy for people to build, mobile apps or integrated apps or data QA apps or whatever it is on top of FME Cloud. So, and then you can charge whatever you want, and your costs, because your costs are merely the FME Cloud. So it's a very easy story. So great.
Okay, well that was, we're on time for once.
Look at that. Yeah.